Alright, this new Jujutsu Kaisen chapter is the beginning of a new era. So much is going on. I'm losing my shit, okay? This is the golden age of Jujutsu sorcery all over again. Now, I will cover all of that right now, just intro. Okay, look. I know I just released a video like 2 days ago, but this arc beginning was just way too huge for me not to cover in this video. Don't believe me? Let me basically tell you what happened. Now, first news. The world is in ruin, but well, since this is manga, to be specific, Japan is in ruin. Now, if you didn't read chapter 136, basically the being that has taken over Geto's body has unleashed hell on earth, basically. He has recreated the golden age of Jujutsu sorcery. Curses are now everywhere. Shit has hit the fan on an astronomical level. It's absolutely insane, and I kid you not, this may just be the greatest arc from a new gen anime. But I'd rather wait to see how this plays out in full before I make that assumption. This is just an estimation, but according to the series, roughly about 10 million curses are running around, and Jujutsu Tech was already on a shortage of Jujutsu sorcerers. Now they have to deal with this, and it's even worse now since they have even less Jujutsu sorcerers due to the Shibuya incident. The Jujutsu world indeed is just its own definition of the word screwed, and the elders at Jujutsu Tech are really not helping with shit. They are really not helping with shit at all. In fact, they are making it much worse for them. Which brings us on to next news. The beginning of a civil war arc. Or a rogue arc. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. Sides are at war with each other from within the Jujutsu world. And it's because of these dumb elders at the top, which Gojo's always talking about. We all knew they were about the shady life. Ever since this series started, we all knew they were about the shady life, and it's basically because of them they made the dumbest decision ever. Like they pull some outright stunts, they do the most bullshit things ever, and I'm about to tell you all the shit they have done. Now, what have they done? Number one, they have ordered Geto's execution. It's on again. Well, remember, they thought he died and they cancelled it, and now he's back. Yeah, they did that again, which is actually not a bad thing, seeing as Geto is the antagonist of the series after all. So that's basically fine. But number two is really what gets me on edge.
Nice.
Now, number two is literally something that gets my rocks off. So basically, what the elders at Jujutsu World have decided to do is Gojo Satoru has now been deemed to be a permanent enemy of the state for free, and basically if you free him from that prison cube that he's in right now, that's a punishment, and it's considered a criminal act. Now, this was the dumbest move ever made by the elites. How are you going to openly make Gojo an enemy of the state, knowing very well he could just wipe all of you guys out with ease? It's crazy. Literally, Gojo is the only one who may possibly be able to stop Sukuna, and I made a video on that, like the video I made just before this about how the Sukuna will beat Gojo, but that's for another day, that's for another story. Either ways, my point is, they just took the biggest L of the century, and if you think you can just go up against Gojo and Sukuna, like sure, yeah, they may not be working together, but this is still the biggest L that Jujutsu World can take. Like, these elders took absolutely no hesitation whatsoever in making Gojo an enemy of the state. Like, it's madness. Mans was literally sealed in that cube for not even one day. He was sealed in that cube for a few hours. And we already see, now he's already an enemy of the state. Like, we all saw this coming. It's absolute madness. We saw this coming, and yet it's still surprising that it actually happened. These guys were ballsy enough to say, yeah, let's make Gojo an enemy of the state. He's no longer welcome in Jujutsu World, and if you help him, we're gonna kill you. I mean, how dumb can you be to make such a statement? Makes absolutely no sense. I can't believe they actually said, in the official statement, they pinned the whole Shibuya incident on Gojo alone. They say he's the one who caused all of this. I mean, what? Gojo actually should have just killed him. Definitely, he should have just wiped them all out. It makes no sense. This actually really solidifies Gojo's ideas that Jujutsu sorcery, that Jujutsu world, is filled with absolutely corrupt elders, and that needs to change immediately. Now, number 3 is that the principal of Tokyo's division of Jujutsu Tech will be executed for quote-unquote enticing Gojo and Geto to do stuff. I really don't get it. Literally, just because this guy was Geto and Gojo's teacher, they're now like, oh yeah, you're the reason why they're doing the shit that they're doing. Now you're gonna die for it. I mean, it just makes no sense. Like I said, these elders move mad sus. Now, number 4 is, remember the whole execution deal that they made for Yuji Itadori when they said, we're only gonna execute you after you've consumed all of Sukuna's fingers, right? So basically what they decided to do is they said, fuck that. This suspension thing has been cancelled. We want you dead right now. We want you off the streets immediately. Now, I assume the reason for this is that since Gojo is now absent, they recognize that nobody can stop the elders from killing Yuji. And most likely they also want to prevent a possible situation where Gojo is freed and then he ends up allying himself with Sukuna to take down the Jujutsu world. This also makes sense why they sent the specific hitman that they did, which is none other than special grade Jujutsu sorcerer Yuta Okkotsu. Now, basically, if you don't know who Yuta is, he is the protagonist of the Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0, which is the prequel series to the Jujutsu Kaisen that we know and love. I definitely say you must go read that if you want to continue on with the series without being confused, especially now that Yuta is back. Now, basically, Yuta is one of the 4 special grade Jujutsu sorcerers. Remember, there's only 4, and he is one of them, and he is actually one of the strongest. And now, this is actually quite problematic, since 2 of the strongest, official strongest, are quote-unquote rogue. So, Yuta and Yuki are going to be the ones who are going to be tasked with killing Yuji Itadori. Honestly, man, Yuji has been through way too much. Literally, they don't let this man rest. They don't let the mandem rest. Literally, the only time Yuji actually got proper time to rest was when he was thought to be dead. Give the man some space. Give this damn man some peace, please. But anyways, this now does bring into question of sides. Now, by that I mean, which characters can we expect to be deemed as traitors for helping Yuji, and then which characters will be out for some Yuji head? Pause. Now, off the top of my head, I assume Team Yuji would consist of the following characters. By the way, just deal with me if I accidentally pronounce these surnames or names incorrectly. It's off the top of my head. Okay, number 1 would be Yuji Itadori, of course, since he is being the one targeted. The other ones would be along the lines of Nobara Kugisaki, Ao Todo, despite him being out of commission. It would also be Panda, Toge Inumaki, despite him also being out of commission, Gojo Satoru, if and when he makes his escape, Uraume. Now, Uraume is a special case because although Uraume won't actively protect Yuji, they, since I don't know the gender of Uraume and it's not confirmed, Uraume will definitely make an appearance there to help Sukuna, because they're not there for, Uraume won't be there to protect Yuji. Uraume will only be there to assist Sukuna when Sukuna is in need. Now, another character who comes to mind is Maki Zenin. I assume her reason for helping Yuji would be more self-centered, because you know how she's like. She loves sticking it to the Zenin clan. As we know, she finds pleasure and she also finds strength in just spiting them. Now, other characters would be Kasumi Miwa, you know that girl with the blue hair who's obsessed with Gojo? Yeah, she's definitely helping them. Another character who pops up into mind is Kiyotaka Ichichi, because the reason why I assume he would also help is because he knows what Gojo's ideals are, and he hasn't snitched them to the elders so far, And after this whole incident has taken place, he will see how corrupt the officials actually are and how they work. So he would be along the sides of protecting Yuji, but seeing as he isn't a combatant, he can't really do much. I feel like he would function as an intel spy. Now, another character who pops up into mind immediately is Noritoshi Kamo. You know, the guy with the blood abilities. Yeah, I see him working with Yuji because he's been close enough to Yuji to understand that this execution right now, as of the whole situation, is completely unjust. So with that, we have a total of 10 people on the side of Yuji Itadori. Well, actually, I think it's 10 for now, because I do believe that Yuta, who is tasked with killing Yuji, will switch sides. I do believe that he's going to have a conversation with Maki and Panda, who are like two of his closest friends, and they will explain what happened to Toge Inumaki, and then Yuta will end up switching sides. Now, for those who I believe will be on the opposing side, aka the side of the Jujutsu world, aka the non-rogue characters, will be Atsuya Kusakabe, Yuta Okkotsu. As I said, I assume this is temporary and he will switch to sides to protecting Yuji. Hakari, who is a third year who we are yet to see in the series. All he knows that he got suspended for, again, reasons we don't know. Another character would be Yoshinobu Gakuganji. That guy, you know, the guy who like wears the Jimi Hendrix shirt and then plays the guitar, that old man. Yeah, I definitely think he'll be on the side because, well, he's one of the old niggas who are against Yuji Itadori. Now, another character I think would be against Yuji would be Mai Zenin. Now, this will definitely create an even greater separation between her and her sister Maki. And another character I think would be after Yuji would be Momo Nishimiya. Although with her, I assume that she would be rather hesitant and she will slip up on purpose when it comes to hunting down Yuji and the gang, seeing as a lot of her close friends are on the opposite side. Now, another character would be Takuma Ino, Mei Mei, Naobito Zenin. You know, the old man Zenin. Yeah, definitely him, because he is definitely one of the characters who wants Yuji dead. And with that, we have a total of 9 people plus the rest of the Jujutsu world who will be after Yuji Itadori's head. Now, with that said, I also strongly believe and I genuinely assume that they will be bystanding characters who won't want to choose a side but will willingly help both of them. Biggest example for this would be like Jujutsu Text healer who goes by the name of Shoko Ieri, and I also believe that Yuki Tsukumo would also be one of the people who will be bystanding. Now, Yuki is one of the 4 special grade Jujutsu sorcerers. Now, I believe she won't participate because it's really none of her concern. It's none of her, I mean, it technically is her business, but it would be none of her interest to help eliminate Yuji Itadori. So I feel like she will make those like small pop-ups within the series where she will be either there to assist Yuji or there to antagonize the rogues. And now, with that said, that is a total of 11 people versus 8. Now, I am obviously saying 8 because I am putting Yuta on the side of protecting Yuji. Now, if you have been paying attention, you'll probably be wondering why I haven't mentioned Megumi Fushiguro yet. Now, I personally believe that he wants to help Yuji. Absolutely, 100%. He wants to make sure that Yuji stays alive. He doesn't want to have his friend die on him again, as they do share a bond together. But I definitely suspect that Jujutsu Tech, being as filthy as they are, has his sister held hostage. And if Megumi decides to go rogue, something definitely bad will happen to Megumi's sister. And we all know that Megumi prioritizes his sister over Yuji. So he will definitely stay on the side of the corrupt elders, but not of his own free will. And I feel like he will purposely try and make slip-ups, and then the elders will be like, listen, you've been slipping up way too much. You better kill this man, or something really bad's gonna happen to your sister. And that will cause some kind of tense fight that happens between them. Now, this manga really just keeps getting interesting, keeps getting better, and it's getting much better with every single chapter that goes on. And I do love how this story is planning out so well. Okay, it has my mind blown. It has me so hyped. If the audio keeps going like fading back it's because I'm just leaning back on my chair. That's how hyped this thing has me going. It's good to see some human on human combat with killing intent. Except for like during the Goodwill arc when originally they tossed kill Yuji Itadori and then make it as an accident. Now this is genuine, I have to kill you for the sake of whatever is going on. Now, and I look forward to that. I look forward to what this series has to offer. With that said, do tell me what you think in the comment section. Feel free to check out my previous video on how Sukuna definitely will kill Gojo Satoru. And that's it for me. Like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. This has been Biscord signing out. Bye.